up, Woodward. We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid.
I'm fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener. Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm, because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
What up, though, people? Welcome to Wake Up Woodward. Chat family, as always, we appreciate you guys for choosing to kick off today with the WUW Crew. You see the victory shades on. Those darn Red Wings, 7 in a row after a 5-4 shootout victory. Hey, and you know what, man? Shout out to Patrick Kane. Absolutely undressed Seattle Kraken goalie. What's his name? Joey DeCourt for his historic 53rd career shootout goal to give the Red Wings the victory. Man, what a night. Flannel Sam, I have one thing to say.
Yeah.
It's really a phrase.
Yeah.
Hey, hockey time. Hey, it's your boy Brandon Dan K, Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter, writer for the network. Flannel Sam Reynolds, Red Wings correspondent, and all sports knower. What up, though, this morning?
Man, late night for sure. Perfect road trip. What more can I say? We'll get into it in just a couple of minutes. It's a great time to be a Red Wings fan right now. The car flags might be coming out, and I get it. I mentioned it, that it seemed to be a curse in some ways last year, but I don't think this team is going to crater like last year's ones did, just based off of what I've seen, based off of the fact that they have a better coach. I think they've got more good young players like Kasper and Johansson and Soderblom contributing. So I might just put the car flag out in a couple of games. Not even gonna lie. Maybe when the Red Wings come back from the All-Star break.
Hey, you know what? Car flags, I'm all for it. I know that we were talking about it as a crew, man. We might have to do that and definitely share the pictures with the chat family. And you know what, chat family? If you guys get car flags, take pictures of them, send it to us, tag any of us on socials, email it to us, and one of you guys will get you know what? We'll do two giveaways, man. Or one of two shirts, either an LFGRW shirt or a Let's Play Effing Hockey shirt. So I want to see you guys. If you have the car flags, definitely send us the pictures and your experiences, boots on the ground at the games. If you are at LCA, send videos, send pictures, and we'll definitely consider you as well for these giveaways, man, because we got to celebrate these Red Wings, and we got to do everything we can to make sure we are honoring the best chat family in the game. Like I said, guys, just run these lights up. We got a victory show on this Wednesday. You want to tell the people what else is on the menu?
Well, we got Red Wings. We've got the Kool-Aid recapping the events in Detroit that he was at yesterday. And we've got Rod Beard, as always, on Wednesdays. I cannot wait for that, especially everything that's been going on with the Pistons. And there's another player who is hitting the open market when it comes to the possibility of being traded in the NFL that the reviews of, in terms of coming to the Lions, are a little bit more mixed, and I believe for good reason, and we certainly have to talk about that in just a little bit. But first, you were out in the city yesterday afternoon.
Hey, I definitely was. You know what? Shout out to the Detroit Pistons organization. They've made a commitment continuously to be what they consider themselves as a community asset, and I get it. For the last 3-4 years of covering this team, you know what most people have said? That's nice and all, but we want some dubs in the chat. Now they're actually getting the wins on the court, and it's bringing even more light to what they're doing in the community right now. And shout out to them. The first event was the Earl Curitan event, and we made 2 stops yesterday in the city. I had Jeremiah with me, Kid Kool-Aid, along for the ride as well, so he got to grace the basketball court that is what they call Detroit's capital of sports, man. It's its home gym, St. Cecilia's gym. It's legendary. And Detroit legend Earl Curitan, he did a whole lot of work in his life. Before he went to the NBA, after he went to the NBA, while he was in the NBA, he dedicated his life to service here in Detroit. trying to rebuild street by street. So it's only fitting and appropriate that they decided to name a street after him as well. So now Stearns Avenue, where the legendary St. Cecilia's gym sits, is now going to be Earl Cureton Court. And so, JB, did you get some of those pictures and videos?
I'm grabbing them right now. I forgot what folder they were in.
No. Dope. Yeah, and there were so many dignitaries there, brother. From William Davis, rest in peace, William Davidson. But the Davidson family was in attendance. His son and wife, George Blaha, was there, and he gave Kid Kool-Aid some kind words of wisdom. Greg Kelser, Grant Long, Dr. McKinney, Dr. Kinney, who was the person who first said, you know what, we need to do something to honor him. And he's somebody who's done a lot in that area as well. And that's from the Black History event there, where Dwayne Casey and Melanie Harris, Pistons president of business operations, she had a lot of good things to say yesterday. But as it relates to Earl Cureton, man, I'm glad that he was able to have this type of honor. Arn Tellem was out there as well and gave a pretty moving address on behalf of the Detroit Pistons, as well as Greg Kelser. And it was just it was a good event to be around. There was so many basketball and Detroit legends there. And there you go, man, the unveiling of Earl Cureton Court, man. So it was a cool thing. And everybody has the same story that I have about Earl Cureton, and that's just that this guy had a lot to do with their career or their lives and beyond. Some of these people for their entire lives, people that started off at his basketball camps. And when we had Greg Kelser on, the legend, he talked about how he was inspired by Earl Cureton to go and impact people's lives beyond just a week or two of camp, but as much as they would allow for their entire lives. And that is the lasting legacy that Earl Cureton left. And you saw a lot of people there yesterday that were inspired, a lot of tears, a lot of emotions. There's Kid Kool-Aid and I out in front of the legendary St. Cecilia's gym. And there was a video as well. Dave Bing was in the building. I know I'm forgetting people, but it was a great event to be in, man. It was a really, really great event to be in. And then the second one was the Black History Month, their 20th annual Black History Month scholarship event. It's me and Dwayne Casey. I told you guys we had the one-on-one. I had to put on the suit. Got some audio and got an article coming, and then he also took some time to speak, he and Brenda Casey, to speak with my family afterwards. And they're just great people, man, overall. So just want to be able to take a second to be able to highlight this. The Pistons, through this event, have given over $1 million in scholarships over the last 20 years between them and lead partner Rick Mahorn, bad boy Rick Mahorn. He's usually the one hosting these events, and now it's my guy Aaron who's there hosting these events, as well as our guy DJ High Def Steph was there on the ones and twos. So it was overall like a family affair. It was a great time in the city. It was awesome to see people thriving, see people benefiting, and ultimately seeing those who put in the work. There goes High Def. Those who put in the work like Earl Cureton and leave a legacy like he did, to be honored. So I appreciate you for allowing me to take the time to just share these two events that were going on in the city. And I think that they were both, for different reasons, very, very impactful for what Detroit is trying to become.
Absolutely, no problem. Glad you were able to be a part of it. Sounded like a who's who, and had to be an honor for yourself to be able to be at that. I think we need to take a quick break and give an entire segment to the Detroit Red Wings because of what they did last night. And we got to make sure we aren't behind, because sometimes we tend to do that when Rod Beard comes on. Shout out to Mr. Rod Beard. But first, I'm going to tell you about Les Stanford. New year, new you. How about a new car? Les Stanford Buick GMC is here for you. Get a 2025 Hummer EV SUT for 24 months with 10,000 miles a year for only $699 per month. Just a $1,999 down payment. Or a 2025 GMC Sierra 1500 Crew Cab, 24 months with 10,000 miles per year for only $359 per month. Sign and drive, no down payment required. GM discount required for both. Get to Les Stanford today or click on the QR code on the screen and check out our massive inventory. Les Stanford Buick and GMC, lesstanford.com.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Head to WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Machine, the new easy drinking IPA that is out of this world. It's smooth, it's juicy, with refreshing crushability. Take your taste buds to the moon and grab yourself a case of this intergalactic haze of goodness. This is the official beer of outer space, but you don't have to go that far to get it. It's at your local store right now, brewed by New Holland Brewing Company, straight out of Holland, Michigan, so you know you can always support locally. Go out and grab yourself a case today.
What up, though, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. And listen, we teased it in the beginning, in the opening segment. These Detroit Red Wings 7-0 in the last 7 games. That sounds like a heater to me. Even though it's wintertime in Detroit, Detroit sports is absolutely turned up. And you know what, JB Smooth, before we get more into these Red Wings, I know we have some super chats. We want to make sure that our chat family is honored appropriately.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Let's clean up some of these super chats we got going over here. Shout out to Nobody sending in the $2 super chat. He said, if you ain't waking up with Woo, did you even wake up?
Hey,
Really?
shout out Nobody, and shout out your profile picture. I still don't know how I ever made that face or how my wife can look at that and not divorce me, but that's another story for another day. Anywho.
I also shout out to Dante151 sending in the super chat as well. $4.99. He said that was such a weird game last night, but I will take it. Also, why did Braylon Edwards pull an Anson Wells and making an insane statement on E&E? What happened on E&E?
Oh, that clip
What
is
happened?
going insane. You know, it's going viral. People are resharing it, are downloading it, and reposting it. And it was who he considered to be the untouchables, and he left one. I'll let Flannel say it, actually.
All right, so
Hutch.
I'm not gonna rip apart the man. I'm not gonna rip apart the man too much, Braylon Edwards. But Braylon, both things can be true. He is my favorite. Either my favorite or second favorite Michigan athlete ever. The fact that I get to work with him is awesome, and he's a great guy. That was also one of the worst things ever said on sports talk radio history. I'll just say that.
Damn,
he basically said that Aiden Hutchinson is not untouchable when it comes to being available for a Myles Garrett trade, which I think would defeat the whole purpose of the Myles Garrett trade, which would give you the best bookend edge rushing duo that we've ever seen. But that's Braylon's prerogative, and that's his show, and he's entitled to his opinion. I just cannot express how much I strongly disagree.
Steve O'Baby actually says Braylon was telling the truth. That's why, because he's a man of reason.
Okay, Steve-O.
Yeah.
That's I vibe with you on a lot of things, but it's clear that you're not a Lions fan, and that's okay, by the way.
Yeah.
It is okay.
That would just defeat the purpose, because I knew when Bray said it was going to get clipped. He even doubled down.
That Michigan man on Michigan man crying.
He even doubled down and said that he would do a 1-for-1 Hutch for Garrett. I'm like, man, this
why?
is going to get clipped.
You don't have to do that.
It kind of defeats the purpose. It does. But it's like you said, it's his prerogative, man.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say
he
that.
played in the league. I ain't gonna question Braylon too much, although I do question him from time to time. But
I wouldn't say that.
What up, though, JB Smooth?
I'm just saying you put Hutch as like, oh yeah, go ahead, let's just trade him 1-for-1 for Myles Garrett. No,
That makes me shudder.
No.
just a little bit,
He
I gotta
wasn't
be
like
honest.
screaming
Yeah.
for it, but he was just trying
Just
to make
a
a point.
conversation.
Yeah, you're just trying to make a point. But of course, it got taken the wrong way, like most of our cookies.
I don't think that was taken the wrong way. I think that was just bad.
Yeah, I think that was just straight up. If you
You know,
like that.
you know what it is, and this is where I'm gonna get on my soapbox a little bit. It's those guys who were Thibodeau guys that just always gotta stick the knife in a little bit more, even though Kayvon kind of blew dick this year. But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there.
Nitty Gritty says, "Congratulations, Sam. You no longer have the worst take on Woodward sports."
Oh well, thank you for that. I really appreciate your compliment. I mean, respect to Braylon, by the way, but I don't vibe. I cannot express how much I strongly disagree.
Yeah, I absolutely love Braylon. I love the human that he is. I love that, the athlete that he was. This one is one that I would definitely disagree with. But
Yes.
We love you, Bray, but you're just wrong on this one.
man, what up though, Cavassier? Just real quick.
Hey, I mean, what up? Good morning, everybody. All I'm going to say is there's a lot of people at Woodward. Only one of us has played in the NFL, and I'm just,
You're right.
That
So that's facts.
I'll let their opinion speak for themselves.
Look, I threw a pass on Ford Field before now. Hey, KG saw that. Hey, KG saw that video.
Yeah,
that film exists.
We don't have no hoop tapes, but we have a video of him passing his son a football at Ford Field. Yes,
Hey,
we
we
do have
both
that.
threw a pass on Ford Field.
Yeah,
damn it.
Jamie claim it, bro. Randall Smalls, $10 super chat. He says Braylon is talking as ex-player and knows not many players come back 100% healthy. That's all. And you know what? There is more that needs to be given to the fact that he's played in the NFL, and I will definitely give him that. I just, in this case, I really believe in who Hutch is as a player. It's not necessarily about trying to disagree or prove Braylon wrong. It's just more about what I believe about Aiden Hutchinson just in and of itself. So, goodness gracious, what a take. And Randall Smalls, I saw you earlier about no interview for Kid Kool-Aid. He is doing some content that might make its way over to Woodward Sports, a part of the Woodward Sports Juniors, the junior reporters, as well as his recap on that Ford Field event that JB Smooth and I, we were out there just tossing dots out there, man. Hey, but the Red Wings, Flannel Sam, 5-4 shootout victory over the Seattle Kraken. And this one, and thank you guys for my puck knowers, 2 points. It keeps them at number one in the wild card, 1 point behind the Ottawa Senators. And you know what's starting to really get intriguing and interesting here is that I had my eyes so set on, man, can they catch Ottawa? That I'm realizing so much more is within play here in the Atlantic Division and in this Eastern Conference for the Detroit Red Wings, because they continue to go on long winning streaks underneath Todd McClellan, the Todd father, man. You got to tell me, what is he doing so right? What's up, Cavassier?
I'll just say, like you said, we're right behind Ottawa in the standings. They play Tampa Bay, who we're right ahead of, and then we play Tampa Bay Saturday.
So things about to get figured out.
Yeah, I mean,
at
like
least for right now.
Right before the Four Nations, it's going to be very interesting. We have a chance to maybe climb up to that third in the Atlantic spot or still stay right up there at the top of the wild card.
Man.
Yeah, it's tough because if the Red Wings even were to, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, go on a slight 2-game losing streak, they might go from third in the Atlantic Division to out of the playoffs. So shout out to them for what they've done. Shout out to them for turning their entire season around. But there is still work to be done. But today is not, I don't even know why I brought that up, because today is a day to only give flowers to the Detroit Red Wings and just appreciate the magnitude of what they've done, not just on this road trip, not just on this 7-game winning streak, but in the entirety of the Todd McClellan era, because I'm about to throw out some numbers that are just, we just have to appreciate it and just let it all sink in on us.
Third from the bottom.
Yes, they were horrific. They were one of the worst teams in hockey, but they literally went on the West Coast. 2 of the teams they played are current playoff teams, Edmonton and Calgary, and they got 8 points in 4 games, a perfect 4-0. We were talking on this show about let them get 4 points and we'd be satisfied. They literally were perfect on the road trip. That is something that even the biggest Red Wings slappies, even the people that believe in this team the most, would not have foreseen. There is just absolutely no way. Not only that, the Red Wings are currently on a 7-game winning streak, which is their second 7-game winning streak under Todd McClellan. Todd McClellan has already led the Red Wings to 2 7-game winning streaks. He has been the coach of the Detroit Red Wings since December 27th. It is now February 5th. Absolutely unbelievable. Just, you cannot say enough about the job that Todd McClellan has done. I'm not saying that it's all him. I'm just saying that there was one very noticeable change. Derek Lalonde goes out, Todd McClellan comes in. He does some things that are noticeable for the team in terms of changing up the lines a little bit, changing up the energy, and all of a sudden they're the best team in hockey. And it was punctuated by a 5-4 win in the shootout over the Kraken last night, which was one of those where you won it a little bit differently than you had in your previous 6 games on the winning streak. The previous 6 games, you got just superb goaltending play from Cam Talbot and Alex Lyon. That was not the case last night. Cam Talbot was not good, but that was okay because the Red Wings did some things that they had done well all season long, which was score on the power play 2 out of 4, and in overtime in the shootout this year, they are 7-5. So shout out to the Red Wings. They got it done. The season is looking bright. It was from the depths of hell to now the highs of heaven. You just love to see it.
Hey, you know, man, they look crafty out there on the ice on offense. They look patient. And just even looking at last night, the way that they were scoring some of those goals, there was some high degrees of skill that were being used. And I love, one of the goals I loved, obviously for purposes of Cider being my son's favorite player, it was just kind of the simplicity of that goal. It looked like on offense, at least, the Red Wings had everything going. And I believe that when you pair that up with the fact that, okay, these goalies some nights are going to have nights like last night, and then they're going to have other nights when they stand on their heads, knowing that this offense can turn on the way that they did, both full strength as well as when they had the advantage. Because I remember growing up, there were some teams that was just like, yo, even when they had the power play, it was a struggle. But this squad, they're taking advantage of all of the opportunities. They're taking advantage of the open ice. They're taking advantage of what they can do when they get into the scoring zone. And that, to me, is what's been most impressive about the Red Wings, is how they're scoring kind of just in front of the net. But Kavasi and Chase, got to talk to you, man. It's the Red Wings, brother. 7 wins in a row. This team has now solidified themselves as looking like the squad that at the beginning of the season we thought that they would be. How you feeling about it?
Yeah, I mean, beginning of the season, I felt a little bold. I thought 3rd in the Atlantic would be right where this team could be. And I felt like a gut punch, you know, with Lalonde, you know, at the helm. But as I said, when when Todd McClellan took over, it just felt like reinvigorated, like a breath of fresh air. You know, like some oxygen just like flew into my lungs, and I mean, you can see the whole team is playing like it. You know, they've got me fired up. I'm like, so excited to go down to Columbus in a couple weeks for that Stadium Series game. I'm like looking and trying to figure out a way to, you know, make it reasonable to purchase one of those Stadium Series jerseys that just dropped yesterday. I mean, the Wings got me fired up, man.
Are they not giving you some reasons to go out there and say, you know what, let's get a new jersey?
Yeah, man. I mean, like, they're playing really well, and it's great to see. Like, the young guys are firing. The vets are playing, like, to what they're capable of. I mean, Steve Yzerman is one of my favorite athletes of all time. I've never wavered in my belief of him, and it's awesome to see, like, the fruits of his labor really starting to blossom. And it's just the beginning. Like, we're still have so much more, like, growth for this team to go ahead.
Yep. And I am ecstatic, and I'm glad it's a victory show, but obviously – as you start to get to this part of the season, and you're going to start doing this with the Pistons too, we have to look at how their outlook is. You know, Flannel, that's where I got to ask you. They've just won 7 games in a row. We know underneath the top 5 that they've had a couple different hot streaks. Do you foresee them being able to keep this going, even if there's a clunker here or there? It just feels like this is who the Red Wings are, but obviously this is going to be a battle as you come down to the end of the season.
Yeah, it's really hard to talk about what they're going to do in the future because they have one more game, and then it's a very, very long 4 Nations All-Star break, 2 weeks. I want to see them win against Tampa Bay on Saturday in their long-awaited return home, and then go from there. As I said, though, as long as they can continue to they can continue to do the things that they've done well all season, like in the power play. Like, I want to highlight the power play really quick because I feel like I need to give a couple of players credit. The Mo Sider, man, I love to see him get a power play goal. He's a guy who we all know is one of the better young defensemen in the NHL. His defensive acumen is not questioned, but when it comes to him potentially winning Norris trophies, you'd like to see him get a little bit more offensive as his career goes on. And he got a power play goal. You absolutely love to see it because when you look at who's been winning Norris trophies lately, it's guys like Quinn Hughes, Erik Karlsson, Cale Makar. You got Roman Josi, guys who have a phenomenal offensive element to their game that Mo Sider does not quite have yet. So you love to see Mo Sider get himself in the scoring column. And also, only the third power play goal of the season for Mr. Jonathan Berggren, who is now on a 4-game point streak. Elmer Soderblom hit the back of the net again. He is now on a 5-game point streak. You love to see it. And Lucas Raymond just did what Lucas Raymond does, which is continue to lead the Red Wings in scoring. Love this game. Wasn't a perfect performance by any means. They blew a 4-2 lead in the third period, but it doesn't matter because it's just... They had a perfect road trip on the West Coast. A perfect road trip on the West Coast. Do I have to say it again? They had a perfect road trip on the West Coast. I'm so happy right now. I don't even want to necessarily talk about the standings and if they slip up a little bit. I just want to enjoy today.
This is right.
I mean, it's like porn to me.
Last week we were talking about the expectations for the road trip. Sam asked for 4 points. I was asking for only 3, and they came out and they gave us 8. I mean, It's like, what more can you ask for this team? They're going out and they're just taking it, and it's like they're playing fucking hockey.
That's what I love about it. And that's what inspired at least my desire for the outlook, because I remember that last show when we talked about, hey, what's the outlook? You guys said it, and to see this team go out there and do it in ways that the conversation that you guys brought up in the conversation, that's at least for someone like me who's looking as someone getting back into the game of hockey, back into the excitement of this Red Wings team winning. That's the type of stuff for me that just makes it really, really exciting. You know, the things to look for in the game, what to look forward to as these next few challenges are coming up in the Red Wings, and just from guys who have that puck knowledge to be able to kind of break it down. That type of stuff, man, it gets me even more fired up, and to see this team winning, just in some of the ways that the conversation here has been brought up, that type of stuff is just, it gets me more fired up as a fan of the Red Wings.
Absolutely. And if you want a couple more numbers that are going to be like porn to all of you and porn to me, we obviously have to expound on the fact, expand on the fact that Patrick Kane is the all-time leader in the NHL in shootout goals, which is just another feather in the cap of his Hall of Fame spectacular career. One of the best players I've ever seen. One of the guys who's played in more big games than any player that I've ever seen. The best American-born player, in my opinion. He does it again for the Red Wings, ends the game winner. Love to see it in the shootout. The only goal scored in the shootout, by the way. Shootout goals are harder than they appear sometimes. And also, even though Cam Talbot wasn't good last night, I also want to highlight the goaltending on this 7-game winning streak in overtimes in shootouts. The Detroit Red Wings goaltenders, mostly Alex Lyon, but you can add Cam Talbot too after last night, 14 minutes and 18 seconds of shutout 3-on-3 goaltending and 2 shutouts where they absolutely blanked the Oilers and they blanked the Kraken. So even though Cam Talbot wasn't good last night, he showed up in overtime in the shootout when it mattered most, even though he had a really rough third period. So doing whatever it takes to win, winning a game when your goaltending wasn't nearly as stout as it was in the previous 6 games. You love to see it because you knew that pace was not sustainable anyway. You just hope that the goaltenders can get hot again at some point during the year and the Red Wings offense can bail them out when they're not.
Yeah, that's what's so awesome about just seeing when the offense has an explosion like this, and then you get to the overtime and then to the shootout, and like you talked about, the 53rd shootout goal career for Patrick Kane, which just really shows the story and the longevity of his career and just how successful he's been playing the game. That's what it really, really speaks to. And last night, it helped the Detroit Red Wings win another game and stay firmly at that number 1 spot in the wild card and just beyond the Senators at number 3 in the Atlantic Division. And it was just, like you said, as difficult as it seems to make those shootout goals, he just kind of casually just did his thing, and just the way he deked the goalie, and it, like I said, undressed him, and then just flipped it up high in the upper right corner. I was just like, dog, this guy is an absolute living legend. Is he what you guys consider to be the best American hockey player of all time?
Yes. Yes, to me, he 100% is. You talk about the Hart Trophy, the 3-time Stanley Cup champion. He's accomplished more, in my opinion, than any other American-born player. And especially with I know the shootout is kind of a new thing in the NHL, so you can't penalize older American-born players. But the fact that Patrick Kane has that in terms of all NHL players, like I said, is just another feather in the cap. And just imagine if he plays a role on this team actually maybe winning a round in a playoff series this year. I'm not saying, like, that's small potatoes to Patrick Kane. He already has 3 cups. But if he can have that end to his career renaissance, which I wouldn't say has been there this year, but he's showed it in spurts. That's just, you love the longevity element as well. And obviously when it comes to conversations like that, sometimes longevity plays a factor. We see it in all sports. We see it with guys like Tom Brady and LeBron James. I get it. That's different in terms of like GOATs of their sports potentially versus a GOAT American player, but you understand what I'm trying to say.
No, definitely. I think that the analogy is well stated. And because sometimes you get some players that play a long time and they give you some marginal stats and they build up their counting stats. But with a Patrick Kane, you see it in his averages, you see it in the longevity. And the one thing that you always take away is how does his peers talk about him? And Patrick Kane, he hits the mark in all 3 of those boxes, man.
Love to see it. But do you know what else we love to see? More transaction talk. I know we love that. And there's another player that is just hit the trade market, which is not, I would say he's quite a bit less attractive to Lions fans than Myles Garrett was, but some may want him, some may not. I know there's somebody on this show that is excited about the possibility. Looking at you, sir. But we can talk about it. But first, I got to tell you about Planet Fitness. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. They have 50-plus Metro Detroit locations. And you know what? If you need a cheap membership at a gym to get yourself in shape, to continue on with your New Year's resolutions, they have memberships at Planet Fitness for only $15 a month, where you can just work out at your home gym, or you can upgrade to the Black Card for $24.99 per month and get access to all Planet Fitnesses across the world. Join today in club, online, or visit them at planetfitness.com. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. We got
This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
somebody say merge? Head over to WoodwardSports.com, click on that shop tab. New designs dropping every single week for you. But I got to tell you about the ones we got up on screen right now. The LFG Red Wings t-shirts, hoodies that we got going on right now that you need to grab. And you can't forget about the Woodward Tigers as well, too. That season is starting up very, very soon. And if you're still got that Lions hangover, we still got Lions gear as well for you. Civilian 16 out right now. WoodwardSports.com, click on that shop tab. Get swagged out.
Get swagged out. Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. The sun is out. Hey, man, look, Woodward Avenue, it is moving. Chat family's been on one. Let's get those likes up. Hey, maybe we can get the like goal by 9 o'clock today, by the first hour. That would be epic. Shout out to the Red Wings Victory Show. Got the victory shades on. We got KG, Detroit's number 1 draft pick in the sound booth. Woodward Sports MVP, JB Smooth in the TD booth. Kavasi Chase is in the building. Shout out to our brothers, as always, Matthew Broder and That Dude Justin. You know what? We got to talk about some more NFL news. Obviously, everybody of substance who becomes available, I believe the Lions are going to come up in the conversation. And if not, I know we're going to put them in the conversation as Woodward Sports as a whole, whether it's socials or on these shows. And obviously, Cooper Kupp is a guy that's now become made available. An interesting thing here is the connection to the Rams. We know that what kicked off the Lions rebuild was Brad Holmes of the Rams formerly striking a deal with the Rams to swap Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford. And now Cooper Kupp is available for trade, and it has some people thinking, what if to the Detroit Lions?
What if to the Detroit Lions? And somebody who thinks that the Lions might get Cooper Kupp is Neil Rule's friend who called him mid-show. And no, Neil Rule was not reporting it. It was just a phone conversation that he had from a friend. But do I think that Cooper Kupp makes sense in Detroit? I do not. In a vacuum, obviously, you look at Cooper Kupp, you think of him with Amon-Ra St. Brown and with J-Mo and with Goff and the offensive line, the running game and all of that, and you salivate. You look at that and think, man, that would be just an unstoppable offense. However, at least for now, there could be some restructuring involved. We'll see. If you trade for Cooper Kupp, you inherit his $20 million salary in 2025 and his $19.65 million salary in 2026, and that is according to Adam Schefter. And to me, with that price, Cooper Kupp is a luxury that the Lions just don't need or can't really afford relative to other moves that they could potentially make. Cooper Kupp is, to me, a bit of an enigma in and of himself as a player, because in 2021, Cooper Kupp had, in my opinion, the greatest wide receiver season ever. And I think objectively it's the greatest wide receiver season ever. Triple crown, second most yards in a season ever, amazing playoff run, Super Bowl MVP. Everything just looks so bright. The Stafford and Kupp connection looked immaculate. They're best friends. You got Sean McVay. You think that Cooper Kupp is headed straight for Canton, Ohio. At least I did. Maybe end up being the best slot receiver we've ever seen. However, it hasn't worked out that way. In the last 3 seasons, Cooper Kupp has missed 18 combined games, has not had 1,000-yard season since then, and looks a step slow. And he looks such a step slow and has regressed so much, according to the Rams, that the Rams want to get rid of him, and they've actually informed teams that they would be willing to maybe eat a portion of his salary just to get rid of him. At the right price, depending on what the Rams could eat, would I be mad if the Lions went into the Cooper Kupp sweepstakes? Not necessarily, but at the current price of $20 million in 2025 and $19.65 in 2026, I actually think it would be malfeasance for the Lions to do that. Only if the Rams eat a large portion of the salary, because they're already going to be dealing with $17.25 million of dead cap when they trade Cooper Kupp anyway.
Yeah, this is one that when I talk about going all in and trying to get some of those names and some of the experience here, this is one where I kind of just pause for a little bit, especially if you know that that contract could be something that, you know, you have to figure out on the back end when you're talking about re-signing players. I don't quite know if Cooper Kupp is that guy to get entangled with and then have your future as it relates to other players you have to re-sign come up in question. Obviously, whatever Brad Holmes decides he wants to do, Brad Holmes can do. I definitely believe that Myles Garrett is that guy that, you know what, you definitely go out there and make that work and ask all the questions and figure everything else out later. But with a Cooper Kupp, I can definitely understand how it could work here. But it's one where, because of the way the finances are and what they will have draft capital-wise, I kind of want to see if there's something appealing in this draft, depending on what they do or don't do with a Myles Garrett.
Yeah, and with Cooper Kupp, because he's only under contract for 2 more years, so in terms of re-signing the guys like the Kirbys and the Brian Branches and the Sam Laportas, it might affect Kirby a little bit, but more so like Branch, Laporta, Gibbs, Jack Campbell, it wouldn't affect that at all. However, what it could potentially affect is them re-signing a guy like Carlton Davis. And to me, I would rather have Carlton Davis at his salary than Cooper Kupp at even a half of what $20 million is, even at $10 million, because the Lions already have the best offense in the NFL. And I understand that you saw what happened to the Lions last year. They lost their best defensive player. Who's to say it couldn't happen to one of their top 2 receivers? Knock on wood. But you have to prepare for all possibilities. But I just think right now you can't do this scared, and Cooper Kupp is just a luxury you cannot afford. This is already the best offense in the NFL.
Yeah, definitely. JB Smooth, I know that you've had some affinity towards a move like this, but I hear you over there, Chuck. At this point in time, though, how you feeling, man? Because I feel like your perspective might balance out a little bit what Flannel and I are saying.
I mean, it was just me. It was just offense. I love offense, and obviously seeing the numbers, it's not attractive. Obviously, you don't want to spend that kind of money on a wide receiver that, is slightly aging, didn't have the best past 2 seasons, has been injured as well too. But I think with the news with the Rams saying that they were willing to eat a very large chunk of his contract just to get him gone, that kind of makes me want to at least kick the tires on it a little bit. Let Brad sit here and pick up the phone and see, hey, how much of this contract are you willing to take so we don't have to take over the load? I think the whole thing is just the Rams want him gone, and they are trying right now to rebuild their franchise, and they're willing to basically take over this huge contract, at least get some draft picks that they can quite potentially either trade or get some new guys in this organization right now. So I would be willing at least to somewhat and try just to kick the tires to see, hey, how much are you willing to take on? And then, we can talk about draft pick or, potential assets that you might want.
Yeah, that's our voice of reason over there.
No, and yeah, they would have to eat a large portion. I'm not mad if Brad Holmes makes the call. And if Brad Holmes is able to use his wizardry and the Rams are willing to eat an unheard of amount of salary, then yeah, I wouldn't necessarily be mad at it. It also makes me wonder, though, is what the F did Cooper Kupp do behind the scenes? Are his skills really that diminished by the injuries? Are the Rams really that concerned by the injuries? Because if you're willing to take on dead cap and eat a portion of the salary, to me, it doesn't make sense, because Cooper Kupp, he's not what he once was, but he's not bad. He's signed. Puka Nacua is signed. Matthew Stafford's going to be there for another year. They still have Sean McVay. They have a young, revamped defensive line. They were just in the playoffs. They won a playoff game. I don't understand it. I think Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua is still a lethal duo when it comes to wide receivers, but apparently the Rams don't think so, and they're just kind of done with him at this point. I understand that Cooper Kupp wasn't once what he was, but he doesn't even have to be the number 1 on the Rams. He can be that complement to Puka Nacua, so that gives me a cause for pause as well. What is going on? What are his injuries? How much have his injuries diminished his skill set? And maybe I don't think he is, but just, is there stuff like outside of football? I mean, Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford are best friends. It's weird to me.
Part of me also wonders if this shines some light into the future decisions of a Matthew Stafford. We know that was up in question for a long time, and they were even asking Sean McVay, like, what Stafford's doing? I don't know what he's doing yet. Yeah. And that's where I wonder if they're trying to effectively get out ahead of a bad place and try to find some way to get their books a little bit more right for when Matthew Stafford actually does make that decision to retire, because they were waiting on that. And that's where I'm wondering if that has something to do with it. But the injury concerns, when you're talking about spending that much money, or even if they go and they eat a lot of that contract, you're depending on Cooper Kupp to be out there on the field, but you also taking into concern some of the injury concerns as well as an aging player. That's where, Mitten made in the chat saying, run it back with Tim Patrick, because I was going to say, if we did bring him here, I do like some of the options we have right now, and you still have the opportunity to go out, via either draft or free agency and make something happen. Maybe with a player that can give a little bit more, probably be a little bit more dependable at this stage, and you don't have to necessarily deal with the aspect of a trade with the Rams again.
Yeah, like I said, it's a no for me, dog.
Yeah.
And it's no disrespect to Cooper Kupp as a player. It's just with his injuries, with his diminished skills, even if the Rams do eat a portion, I still think it's too much to spend on a guy who would, I guess by definition, maybe be your third receiver because the Lions had 2,000-yard receivers last year. It's a no for me. And it's certainly, if you were to rank my importance in terms of offseason targets of Cooper Kupp and Myles Garrett is so far ahead of Cooper Kupp. The gap is Hawaii to California, the Pacific Ocean. So in principle, I'd be like, if they get Cooper Kupp and not Myles Garrett, I know Easy mentioned this yesterday, it just would make me spontaneously combust, something that I just can't fathom.
What up, though, KG?
Yeah, and Sam, I agree with you on a lot of things that you said, but you also said that the Lions they don't necessarily have the luxury of this, but the Lions at this current point in their history are in the luxury business. This is why they are considering Myles Garrett. This is why they are considering a Cooper Kupp, or maybe are considering a Cooper Kupp. And I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, because I can tell you right now, Brad Holmes is not going to do anything that will compromise this team long-term in terms of cap space. So I think a restructure of his contract will have to be a done deal before the deal is even made. And you look at what the Rams said, they're willing to eat a lot of that salary. It's something intriguing. Now, you don't have to do this move. I'm not pounding the table for this move, but if you're not going to re-sign a Tim Patrick, I think this is a smart way to go. The only real concern I have about Cooper Kupp is the injury history. But if you look at his on-field production, even, as a number 2 receiver, he's still a damn good receiver in this league. And you look at the fact that you'll be reducing his role if he were to come here. He'd be your number 3 receiver instead of being a number 2 next to Puka Nacua. He would be a number 3 here in the slot primarily, and I think that would be a real good for this offense, man. Jared Goff is very familiar with Cooper Kupp. I think it could be the makings of a move that could make sense for the Lions, but only if you're not going to re-sign Tim Patrick, and only if that contract gets restructured before you even hit the door.
Man, I mean, you do make a case. Oh, what up, Doc Foss here, Chad?
Yeah, I just in regards to Cooper Kupp, he kind of reminds me of, like, with this offense, we already have a lot of luxury. Like, we have a fast car with Jamison Williams, and we got like we got that fast bike, with Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, you can only like ride, and like play with one of these toys at a time. Cooper Kupp kind of seems like a boat. And they say the 2 best days in a boat owner's life is the day you buy it and the day you sell it. A boat's just a hole you throw money into. And that kind of seems like what this contract would be for Cooper Kupp. I'd rather, instead of going buying like another luxury toy to play with for this offense, upgrade our defense, add an extension onto the garage or something like that, so to speak, as like in terms of like an analogy, and upgrade the defense, rather focus on like Myles Garrett than Cooper Kupp.
And one thing on my mind that I just keep thinking about is just the way that Brad Holmes has the opportunity to utilize the draft to really kind of put the contracts back into his favor and extend that longevity of success. That's where I'm like, okay, you're in 4 years now. You have some pretty big expectations. I think it's high time now to go out there and actually take a chance on a wide receiver in this draft. I'm not saying go and spend high capital on him, but I wouldn't mind seeing a young wide receiver that doesn't have to step in right away and be the everything guy. Similar to what we talk about with the Pistons and Ron Holland, being able to step into this situation and have so less pressure and responsibility on him than all the other number 5 picks before him, Jaden Ivey and Asar Thompson. And so it's like, when I'm looking at this right now, you get the ability to bring in a wide receiver who can work with guys like Teddy Bridgewater, Amon-Ra St. Brown, your wide receivers coach, this offense, and learn it while at its inception as you're getting a new flavor, a new offensive coach, offensive coordinator here. That's where I'm just like, you know what? I would love for them to be able to take a chance there more so than a Cooper Kupp. But obviously for the right deal, I'm not going to ever be mad at a Cooper Kupp on the Lions.
Yes, for the right deal. And KG, to just respond to you really quick before we go to break, yeah, if there's a restructure, if there's a large chunk eaten by the Rams, I would be relatively fine with this because I like Cooper Kupp as a player. And
Brad Holmes not taking on a $30 million cap hit. Come on now.
Not for a wide receiver.
Yeah. I think we would all agree that if there was no restructuring and the Lions had to eat $20 million next year and 19 and almost $20 million the year after that, we would all be like, what the F are you doing?
No.
Yeah.
Even for somebody like Brad Holmes. But you know who we never say, what the F are you doing to? Rod Beard.
Oh, I was about to say my wife.
On
but...
the way. Detroit News
What the hell
sports
are you doing?
editor-in-chief.
Tell us about the big game, JB.
Oh, I got you. Brad, remember, you fleeced the Rams once. Do it again.
He could.
Hell,
They might
just do
pay
it
you to
again.
take him.
They might.
They
never
might
know.
compensate you to take
Just
it.
pick up the phone, see what they're asking. But let me tell you about the big game, because Woodward Sports is back at it again with our live watch party at Hayes Social. Come watch the game with the crew on 3 17-foot screens. Book your table today before they are all gone. Call 586-247-2223. Great food, drink specials, and the best game party around. That's Hayes Social at 21 Mile and Hayes in Shelby Township. Brought to you in part by 1800, Sabbath Coffee, Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza, and of course, New Holland Brewing Company. We'll see you there.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
At Lady Jane's, we take the trial of getting a haircut. Our talented stylist will deliver an industry-leading haircut, a relaxing scalp massage, my favorite, that hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment.
Towel placement varies.
Make sure that you ask. Don't suggest
No
like
J-Tut.
Mr. Yeah. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome. Hey, what up, though? That's Steve Nugian mentioned Red Wings talk, question. I don't know if he's asking, did we talk about them, or if he's questioning why talk about them. Hey, but you know what? Either way, we talked about them. 7-0 in the last 7 games. And they are on a heater. You know who else is on a heater right now? Detroit News sports editor-in-chief Rod Beard. Welcome to the show, brother. As always, it's a great time to have you on the show.
Oh, I hear the audio.
I hear some sound.
I hear the audio.
I hear sound.
We good.
Rod,
Got some
hey, go! This
go.
is a Wednesday. What a Wednesday. Rod, it's good to see you. Real quick, I saw Cody Davis yesterday as well out at the event, man. It's always awesome to see him just kind of in his element. And it's just more testament, obviously, to I know some of this leadership that you're putting on display over there at the Detroit News, man. So thank you for joining the show and making yourself available every single Wednesday to Wake Up Woodward. And you know what? These Red Wings, man. These Red Wings, it's 7-0 in the last 7 games. I like saying that. I like the sound of that. The Todd father is pressing all of the right buttons right now, man. And last night's victory, it was exciting for a lot of Red Wings fans out there and Detroit sports fans. And this is my question to you: are we getting all 4 teams in the playoffs? Pistons and Red Wings?
Playoffs.
I mean,
it really feels like it, and the Red Wings are a fun watch now. That the goal scoring issues that they had before, the power play issues are just, they're vanishing. That you don't see all of that stuff now, but you want to sit down, you want to watch the Wings, watch the Pistons, because you can't watch the Lions anymore, and it's just a good time to be a Detroit sports fan.
Oh, it's a great time to be a Detroit sports fan. Speaking of which, Myles Garrett asked for a trade. Obviously, we know how great Myles Garrett is. Is this something that should the Lions get in on the Myles Garrett sweepstakes?
Yes. Yes. That should have been a phone call that was made immediately. As soon as, if you don't react to Twitter immediately like we do, that should have been a phone call like, who, what, how much, where, what are we doing? What do you need? What do you need? Two first and third, whatever we're trying to do. Hey, what? Because again, let's harken back to the trade deadline this year when we were saying they need to get multiple options on the defensive line. Don't just go get one, and they did the best they could with Darius Smith. You need multiple guys because you just want to make this defensive pass rush and the Lions defense as a whole just a monster that just is as dreaded as the offense is. You want to be able to have that pass rushers, and going out and getting Myles Garrett would do that. I don't care the cost. If it's a couple of first-round picks, okay, you're talking about the 28th pick this year and somewhere in the 20s next year, do not care. Go get him if he's available.
Absolutely, because in reality, this is about making sure that you can push that Super Bowl button. You look at the contract of a Jared Goff in that window. That's what I believe, that this concentrated window of a Super Bowl with this core, it's right now. And that's where I'm like, yo, it doesn't matter what you have to give up. And then on the flip side to that, obviously we're talking about a guy like Cooper Kupp. For me, Myles Garrett is the guy that you go and you say, hey, what needs to be done? How many briefcases? Where do you need me to send the Brinks trucks? Do you want that in marked, unmarked bills? Whatever you need, we can make it happen, man. You know, but with the guy like a Cooper Kupp is where, you know, even if they go and eat a lot of that contract, part of me, with my philosophy, I kind of want to see them take a chance on a wide receiver from the draft, because I feel like they don't have any of those young guys. Now, J-Mo is getting 2-3 years in the league. I would like to see them kind of go that route with somebody and have a little bit more control of a promising young wide receiver rather than maybe a Cooper Kupp. But what do you say? Right,
because you've got to pay so many other guys coming up with their second contract that it's tough, and you've got to have this balance of kind of young guys and then guys on manageable contracts and then your veterans. It's almost like what the Pistons are doing is that you don't want to go out and take on anything bigger than Tobias's contract, because you know you got to pay Cade, you're going to have to pay Duran, you're going to have to pay Ivy, all of these other guys coming up. So you have a smaller contract window of who you're able to deal with and how much you're able to pay them.
Hey, you know what, Rod? I got to also ask you about this. The Detroit Tigers, they made a little bit of news here. Jack Flaherty back to the Detroit Tigers, and now everybody, even Ben Verlander, he even went and tagged us. It was like a graphic we made about, hey, get Bregman to Detroit. Is that the move? I know that's what everyone is saying you got to make happen, but obviously it hasn't happened yet with the Tigers. If that doesn't happen as well, do you believe, and this is one based off of Flannel, do you believe that this team is an AL Central favorite as currently constructed?
It's tough because you have the pitching. You just need the lineup and on a day-to-day basis to be able to do it. And they got on a heater toward the end of last year. Can you replicate that this year? That's the tough question, because you had relied so much on starting pitching last year and it just really didn't come through for you in the early parts of the season that you really had to rally toward the end in order to make stuff happen. I would rather, and I always say this, come out the gates hot and you don't have to make up that ground toward the end of the year. And I think they need the lineup pieces, and Bregman would be that. That's a consistent hitter that you go out and get that stabilizes and fortifies your lineup.
Rod, before we get to the Pistons stuff, something earth-shattering or earth-shaking happened in the NBA this past weekend. Luka Doncic to the Lakers, Anthony Davis to the Mavs, among others, of course, but those are the two most important.
One of his guys is covering it right now, Mike Curtis.
Hey, shout out Mike Curtis. What was just your reaction to that initially, and then as it settled a little bit, has it changed at all?
So here's the backstory. I had lunch with Mike Curtis on Saturday, and we were just chopping it up, talking about his stuff with the Mavs and how he went from covering a last-place team to going to a team that was in the NBA Finals with the Mavericks. And it was just, hey, this is a kind of weird year. And then for whatever reason, I'm just checking. Facebook was the first thing I checked on Sunday morning. And he said, it's the weirdest night I've ever had in the NBA, covering the NBA. And I'm like, wait, what? Wait, nothing happened. So then I flip back to Twitter and it's like, oh, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing today. All right, well, did Shams' Twitter get hacked? What is going on? Like, you can't trade Luka Doncic. This is madness. And it's just scroll. And you see it, and it's just, you can't process what it means to trade Luka Doncic. And now you're starting to see some of the backstory why they felt like Nico Harrison felt like that was the way to go. And it's sort of, all right, I got you. You don't want to pay $360 million to a dude because you don't think he has the work ethic or the health. He cares about his health enough to get it done. I get it, but that's Luka Doncic. Like, that's Luka. Like, yes. Who does that? Who wakes up one day and decides, hey, let's go to a coffee shop and talk about trading Luka Doncic? That's just madness to me.
And if you do, who goes and gets less draft capital than what Moutier got? Like, that's what I sit here, I'm just like, Rob, like, if you're going to do the unthinkable, if you're going to do the unfathomable, don't you have to at least go out there and get a haul? Can you imagine if Danny Ainge just decided to do the unthinkable? If he was the person who said, I'm going to trade Luka Doncic, he'll be drafting, like in the lottery, with other teams' picks for like the next 30 years, bro. Man, bro, we were supposed to go to break. It's just wild to me. I don't understand this at all.
Sam Presti would have had 29 first-round picks.
No, that's a fact.
For Luka Doncic.
He would have been drafting
Bring me 29 first-round picks for Luka. That's what I want, and make me say no. That's exactly how that would happen.
Man, you know what? Let's get to this next segment. Rod is cooking already. Thank you for asking that question, Plato. Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights from Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday on Big D Energy, every Thursday on Ermanni and Edwards, where he's offering you top-notch injury advice. You got to trust the guy that DMAC trusts. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won.
This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Attention, calling all skiers and snowboarders. Get ready to send it on a 14-foot drop-in ramp with 3 custom features at the brand new Jars Utica location parking lot on Saturday, February 22nd from 1 to 5 p.m. Jam-style competition judged by 3 guest pros. $8,000 in cash prizes are up for grabs. Are you ready? Register at jarscannabis.com/JarsRailJam to sign up for open to skaters and snowboarders 21 and up. Limited to only 50 participants, so lock in your spot today. DMAC and Stick will be doing a special broadcast from 2 to 4 p.m. that day as well, too. Spectators are always welcome. The event is free to attend with free food with a Jars purchase as well, too. Live DJs, giveaways, drop in, cash out, and get railed? Still sounds weird. I'm sorry.
Rail Jam. What up, though, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. Thank you guys for kicking off the day with the WUW Crew. And we got to talk about these Detroit Pistons. These 25-25 Detroit Pistons with 5 games to go before All-Star break. And the question is, can they get there and be a couple games above 500 by that time? But let's get the drum roll going for the legend because it is a Woodward Pistons segment. Hey, yo, shout out and welcome to the legend, Detroit News Rod Beard. What up, though, brother? You know what? Take it away with Rod's thoughts, man, and then we got to get a question to that answer.
We talked about Zach LaVine as being that dude that they could go out and get. And now I'm actually kind of glad they didn't. Malcolm Brogdon, Lonzo Ball, go get Lonzo. You're going to Chicago next week. Just put him back on the team, playing with you on the way back, and just it'll be too late. But the trade deadline is this Thursday. But I mean, the sentiment is there. Like, for real, just go get Lonzo Ball and make this a happier thing. And it's not anything against Marcus Sasser. It's just in a lot of games that's where things go haywire. Is when Cade goes out, you might have Beasley out, and you're just trying to run with Tech and Sasser and Holland, and it's just a weird sort of mix. I think you can figure out something with Lonzo or even Brogdon, where that can be a little bit more cohesive and you have somebody who's distributing the ball.
Rod, and we've covered this the last, I don't know how many years on Woodward Pistons, and in particular, since they've gotten Marcus Sasser, we've even doubled down on what they need out of a backup facilitator. And with Marcus Sasser, we said, and this is not a slight at him, I believe that his best basketball is when he's playing with a point guard. He's a really good combo guard. And there's nothing wrong with that. And off the bench is where I believe that combo guards thrive the most because you're counting on more individual type efforts from those guys rather than with the first shooter where Cade is looking to facilitate a whole lot more. And that's why I do believe you get a guy like Alonzo who can find Marcus Sasser spotting up. I like that combination a lot better than sometimes when you see Marcus Sasser getting downhill and it might be Fontecchio who's not the hottest or pick another bench player who's not necessarily on fire right now. So I would like to see another three-point shooter out there around the arc and being able to play to his strengths and space and have Lonzo Ball kind of facilitating. And you're right, man. Just the way that the offense, they've had some stretches where they have held serve, and that's when Sasser plays his best, but it just hasn't been as consistent, man.
And you know what it's like? It's kind of like when Ivy was running the offense and with that second group, and he's not quite the same facilitator. He can create for himself and get in the lane and cause some problems, but he's not the break down the defense, find the guy on the wing sort of guy. That's not his strength, and that's what it feels like with Sasser sometimes.
Yep. And just real quick, before we get into our Swisher Break segment, just real quick for you
Swisher
guys,
Break.
You got 5 games starting tonight with the Cleveland Cavaliers at LCA. The 40-10 Cleveland Cavaliers, that's JB Bickerstaff's old team versus 25-25 Pistons. And then after that, you have the 76ers this Friday, the Hornets on Sunday, and then a back-to-back with the Bulls. Hopefully that's with Lonzo Ball on the team as well. And
switch locker rooms, young man.
And so I just ask you guys to outlook. Do you see the Pistons above 500 before the All-Star break?
Yes.
What about
my reasoning is please. I get it. There's a more than that. Obviously, they got to beat Charlotte. I see them beating Charlotte, beating Philadelphia, and splitting with Chicago. Although if they get Lonzo and Chicago continues to blow it up, maybe they might have a really skeleton crew. So yes, I think they're going to be over 500.
Hey, JB Smooth, what up, though?
Oh, of course. I definitely see them going over 500. As Flannel said, they're better than Charlotte. Like, come on. Let's be honest. And this team is a lot better than when they started at the beginning of the season. So,
Cavassier?
Just make it happen.
What was the question again? Sorry.
Hey, do you see the Pistons? They have 5 games. 3 of those are two against the Bulls, 1 against the Hornets, 1 against Philly, then tonight against Cleveland. Are they above 500 by the All-Star break?
Oh, yeah.
Dope. And KG?
You already know I'm going to say yeah. Even if it's by a game, they will be up.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I said
I hear you.
yeah, Mike's on, yeah. But yeah, they will be. Even if it's by 1 game, they'll be above 500.
And Rod Beard, to complete the layup line before we get into the game, Swisher Break. What up, though?
I'm going to do an early switch. Before I even get to Swisher Break, this is a switch.
Hey, let's go.
Shout out,
Pistons
Rod.
get there, man. It's exciting. But you know what? DJ KG over there in the sound booth.
Yes, sir.
I think it's Swisher Break time. It's time for it. Swisher Break. You got that graphic,
Yes,
JB
please.
Smooth?
I need that. I
That
need that in my
graphic
life.
so clean.
Oh, Such a beautiful graphic. And y'all know the name of the game. It is Swish or Brick or Swish or Break, whatever your preference. Maybe you can do both during this segment. But you know it's trade deadline time, so we got to talk trade deadline stuff. And I have a couple statements here to start us off. Number one, the Pelicans, CJ McCollum, should be the target of the Pistons' number one trade deadline target. Swish or Brick?
Ooh, you know what? CJ McCollum, you're talking about the Pistons needing somebody who can handle the usage rate that comes with Cade Cunningham when he's sitting down on the bench. And I believe that CJ McCollum just might be one of those guys. This one question has shown up on the show 3 times to Flannel Sam's misery. And it's about, should you move Malik Beasley to the starting lineup? I think when you got another guy like a CJ McCollum there, who is averaging 22 points per game, 3.7 rebounds, 3.8 assists, shooting about 45% from the floor, and overall in the season, shooting about 37, just under 38% from behind the arc. I believe that CJ McCollum will add a lot to this lineup. Hey, number one priority. They already said that there's some deal that could be potentially in the works. Hey, I think that this one makes us very, very likely. But Flannel Sam, Swish or Break, CJ McCollum as the number one priority?
Swish. Like, such a half-court swish, half-court game-winning swish, 100%, because I think he's a perfect fit to Cade. He's only under contract this year and next, and then he's a free agent. I think if you get somebody like Cade, somebody like CJ McCollum, and to pair him with Cade and to be that secondary ball handler but can also play off-ball phenomenally, you get a true relative second star, and I think this team could maybe even be the 4 or 5 seed. Absolutely, CJ McCollum.
JB Smooth.
Swish for me as well too. Throw those feelers out there. See what they want for CJ. See what they want for Lonzo. I mean, what are they gonna say? No, that's the worst thing they can say.
Cavassier.
I'm gonna say Brick. I don't think he should be top priority, but I mean, I wouldn't be mad if he's like up there within like top 3 consideration. But I wouldn't say he's like priority number 1.
Man, chat's
like
lighting
top
up
target
on this question.
Yeah.
So. KG, I see the chat lighting up on this question, but KG, what say you?
Well, the statement is the Pelicans, CJ McCollum should be the Pistons' number one trade deadline target.
Yep.
And if that's the case, then yes, I feel like he'd be a perfect fit here. You already got the connection with Trajan, so you might be able to get a little bit of, ease off the deal. You might be able to get something for that. And, in the absence of Jaden Ivey, he's a leader. He's the scorer that Cade needs next to him right now. And I think if you're making a push for the playoffs, like I feel the Pistons are, you absolutely need somebody like that in your starting lineup. So would I make him the number one trade deadline target? Absolutely. If you can get him, make a call.
Yeah, I feel that, man. My number one reason is just keep those Malik Beasley should be starting Swisher break questions off. But before we throw it over to Ron, hey, the chat, Real K77 Brick, DNC Brick, Charles McClain, double swish. I'm seeing more bricks than I thought I would. Dante 151 Brick. But Randall Smalls, ADIZ 411, they're saying swish. I'm seeing a lot more swishes, but it's a mixed crowd. Rod, what about you?
This is a brick. There are seeds in this bag. You cannot make CJ McCollum your number one option here.
Not seeds in the bag.
He's making
seeds in the bag.
It's $33 million on that contract this year, $30 million next year. No, thank you. You go get Lonzo Ball for a second round pick, or you get him in the buyout market. You are not paying $33 million for CJ McCollum.
Hey, I'm not mad at that. And it's funny you bring that up because my next statement is something that I said last week, and I still believe this to be true right now for the Pistons. The Pistons need to prioritize draft capital when making a deadline deal. Swish or brick?
Ooh, you guys already know the Detroit Pistons are on a, for lack of a better phrase, F them picks type of thing this year. They're going to lose that draft pick. It's going to convey. They are looking really good unless the wheels completely fall off, knock on all the wood in this room. I don't foresee that happening. And that's where, and we've talked about it before. Goodness gracious, man. Because I just said I want the player, but obviously I got to make a statement for this.
This also does not mean you can't get a player. This is just saying that the Pistons' number one priority should be to get draft picks.
Then get that draft capital because it gives you so much more that you can do at the trade in the offseason, especially when you talk about around draft time, where the Pistons have been very active the last 4 years of this rebuild. What say you?
I'm going to go Swish for the same reasons. A draft pick that you will not make, you will flip. And I think this offseason is really where you make marked improvements to this team if you don't get someone like CJ McCollum. So Swish.
JB Smooth?
Swish for me as well, too. I agree with Flannel. You get these draft picks, flip them as soon as you can, especially if you're not getting a guy like Cooper Flag or like a top prospect. So Swish for me.
Yep, Cavassier.
I'm going to go with Brick. I think someone like Lonzo Ball, like Rod was just saying, would be a great piece. And he's not going to cost you a ton of draft capital, but whatever pick you may add to the deadline isn't going to help you in these playoffs come April and May, which is, or the play-in game, which is where the Pistons are going to be. And I want to be competitive in those games. So I want a player who's going to help us and help take some of the pressure off Cade.
Hey,
so Chase's priority is a player over picks. Okay, not mad at that. Yeah, you already know I think this is a swish. I think the big move comes in the offseason, and seeing that you're going to lose that first round pick because the Pistons are going to be an outright playoff team, you need to get whatever draft capital that you can manage at this deadline, being a facilitator, and then make that bigger move in the offseason. But this also does not mean that you don't get a player as well. I just think the big move, the big time player comes in the offseason. You need draft capital to do that.
Yeah, I see Mark Covington break. Go get Bobby Portis. I wonder if that was to this question or last one, but down to 151, I want Brandon Ingram. That's another one of our faves. We've talked about him extensively, especially going back to last trade deadline when the rumors popped up. But there's a lot of bricks in the chat to this one here, man. Charles McClain, brick. Michael Wary, brick. Dante 151, brick. But Randall Smalls and a couple others, they're saying switch. The real K77, he wants to trade capital. But what say ye, Mr. Rod Beard?
Trade capital doesn't really help you as much. Yes, you lose the pick, but you don't need any more young guys on this roster. You have as much youth as you can handle. You either go and get some veterans at the deadline, or you wait till the offseason to bring in the other picks. So the other players that you need, but you don't worry about picks and anything like that. If you're doing draft capital for the future, fine, but these young guys are not going to help you.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, KG, what's next?
All right. Ron Holland should have made the Rising Stars game swisher brick. I'm surprised I thought that he'd be in there by default.
Yeah, I thought so too. And what's interesting is got a chance just quickly to talk to Mr. Ron Holland Sr. Shout out to him. Cool dude, electric guy, man. He was just down there watching the press conference. Ron Holland was walking through with the belt and all of that. So it was awesome to see him be able to see his son be able to walk through with the dog pound belt. But you know what he said? He said, yeah, man, it would have been nice. But Ron Holland's whole mindset is on making the playoffs. That's it. We just want the playoffs. I do believe he should have made it. But I do understand that a lot of what people are seeing about him right now was probably over more or less the last 20 games. So even though we could see what we saw up close and personal in the flashes, the last 20 games, I believe, is where he really started to take a leap, and a lot of people, they just missed the mark on it. Sarr, I think he should have been one that got in first as well. Man. But what you see Sarr Thompson doing, being that complete energy changer, and being one of those guys who was ranked high coming into this draft and has continued to show marked improvement with even his outside shooting, I thought that he deserved to be there. But hey, what say ye, one Flannel Sam?
I'm gonna go with Swish because Anthony Black's on the team, and I think Anthony Black stinks, and Ron Holland is at least a great defensive player, at least has shown so, at least recently. It's not saying that Ron Holland should be any Rookie of the Year conversation or anything like that. It's hard to miss the Rising Stars game, and I feel like that's kind of an insult to Ron Holland. Like, so what? Give me a Swish.
JB Smooth, what up, though?
I got to go with Swish, too. I'm looking at the competitors in the Rising Star competition as well, too. And even though I like a lot of them...
Flannel's losing his crap over here right now, bro.
I kind of got to agree with Flannel as well, too. Anthony Black is on one of these teams, and it's just like, why? So this is a switch for me.
Cavassier, what up, though?
Oh, it's a definite swish. I mean, I understand, like, Jared McCain's been playing really well, but he's out for the year. So to, like, put him on the list and take away the spot from someone like Ron Holland just does not make sense to me at all. This is supposed to showcase these rising stars. And, I mean, if you're not able to play, how can you really be showcased in this game? So, like, let people who can participate play.
Yeah, and I know it's interesting that I know it's on his mind, and I wonder how much of that's going into it, because you see the fire that he's playing with right now. What up, though, KG?
This is a heat check, bro. This is definitely a swish. Like I said, he should be there by default. This is a weak-ass rookie class. I mean, like, what are we talking about right now? I get the offense ain't there for him all the way just yet, but you look at the things he does defensively, and I think he's been a pretty solid rookie up until this point.
I'm only seeing swishes in the chat, man.
Yeah, I don't understand why he's not on the team. I don't. That's a surprise to me.
And honestly, y'all have made me proud. What up, though, Rod Beard? What say ye?
I mean, the Phoenix Suns are not my league pass team, but Ryan Dunn, like, what are we doing? Ryan Dunn made the team? Yeah, Tristan Da Silva?
Weak ass rookie class.
Who are these cats?
That's tough. I'm just
who are these cats? Kason Wallace, I've at least heard of, but come on, man. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, and it's just one of those things that he's going to use to fuel him moving forward. But yeah, like if you're breathing with teeth and you get 5 minutes a game, you should be on the Rising Stars team.
Yeah, you guys just stated it.
Yeah.
Proud of the squad, man. That's just what it is, man. I am, man. Just because, man, covering him like from day one and everything. I remember Rod was there as well for his press conference, and it's just knowing his commitment to defense and seeing him go out there and do it, being really that guy that when he comes into the game, it doesn't matter what stars around him, on his team or the opposite team, you see a shift in the energy. You see a shift in the energy that the other teams have to play with as well. So it's like, man, to not give him this honor is just, I don't know, dog.
That's weak.
Especially with the Pistons winning.
Let me say this too.
They said let the Pistons win. Let me say this too. Get the honors. What up, dog?
We were a day or two away from Asar not being on the Rising Stars team.
Which
so
is
that
crazy
tells
as
you how
well.
all of,
Wow.
which is how all this
injury
selection stuff goes. Yeah.
That shit weak if you ask me. But
hey, KG, I'm surprised Bronny just didn't pay for, or LeBron didn't pay for Bronny to be on the team.
I mean, shit, at this point, you might as well put Bronny in there with his 4 points a game. Might as well, man. But
Jay-Z can pay for Grammys, hell.
What happened to him not traveling on the road, but he gets to go to MSG and put up his 2 points or whatever the hell he did? Like,
hey, man. But
they're recommendations, not they're recommendations. That's all it is.
Right. We got two more here. I believe this last one is really good, but we got two more. The next one, and I think this is a universal swish, but maybe not. Cade Cunningham is a top 20 player in the NBA. Swish or brick?
Ooh.
Listen, last year it was interesting. Somebody who's putting up less numbers than what Cade is right now was a top 25 player based on the numbers, and that was one DeMar DeRozan. And think about that. And this was when DeMar DeRozan was a guy that was going out there and putting up about 22, 23 points a game and put up some pretty good shooting splits, but he was not having the impact or the type of effect that Cade Cunningham was. But when you just said, well, yeah, DeMar DeRozan's coming in at 26, 25, 24, nobody shuddered. With Cade Cunningham, when you start to talk about the fact that his stats are only being replicated by two other people in the entire league, and his are better than LeBron James's, that's when you got to really look at this thing. And I do believe that Cade Cunningham, based on the numbers and based on the impact that we see he's having on the Detroit Pistons actually winning through 50 games, they're a 500 team. I don't know. I didn't hear too many people saying that was going to be the case. People said that good players, they affect winning, and we see that happening right now with Cade Cunningham. I can repeat the numbers again and again and again, but there's only 8 players who put up the stat line that he's put up, and there's only been 20 so instances before the All-Star break that this has happened. So I go to you first, Flannel Sam. Top 20 NBA player, Cade Cunningham.
Half-court swish for a game winner. He is, and I said this on the show earlier this week. I believe that Cade Cunningham is already the third best player in the East after Giannis and Jason Tatum, and there aren't 16 players in the West that are better than Cade Cunningham. Off the top of my head, SGA, Jokic, Luka, AD, Ant Edwards. There's probably more, but the point is there aren't that much more. And I think that Cade Cunningham is closer to 10 than he is to 20. Absolute swish.
I wanted to say top 15, but I was like,
That's
what?
pushing it a little bit.
We'll go top 20, man. We'll let him earn the rest of those other 5 spots over the second half of the season. What up, though, JB?
Oh, this is an easy switch. This is a Sports Center top 10 switch. This is a poster dunk switch. This is what Vince Carter said. It's over. Like, come on. What are we even talking about here? This is one of the best point guards in the East right now.
Kavasi, yeah. I see you over there. Chase GPT. What up, though?
Hey, what up, though? It's a definite swish. And, I was thinking about it. Like, I'll be bold enough to say, like, Cade is top 15 in the NBA. I already say he's the best point guard in the Eastern Conference. He's top 15 in the NBA. Go ahead and try to name 15 other players who you would actively put ahead of him. You might be able to name 9, You might be able to name a 10th, but damn sure you cannot name 15 individuals in the NBA who are better at basketball than Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, and shout out Shad in the chat. This is a net don't move swish. This is absolutely a swish. And I'm more in line with what Chase said, but I'm more you can't name 20 players that are better than Cade right now. Yeah. He's doing it. He's a triple-double threat from the point guard position, night in and night out. He doesn't get enough love for what he does on the defensive end as well. Like there is a lot to Cade Cunningham, especially with the way he's improved his perimeter shooting this year. You can't name 20 players that are better than Cade Cunningham right now. You can't.
Hey, you know what? In the chat, Charles McClain, he says, if Cade gets help, then it's a swish. With no help, it's a break. That's kind of been the way that the career has gone to this point, so it's nice to see him with a little bit of help, and we see that extreme impact. What up, Doe Kavasi?
Yeah, I mean, if we didn't have that whole year with, as Spenny calls him, the terrorist Monty Williams at the helm, I think we would have been having these conversations with Cade.
You killed Rod. Rod is gone.
The words of great Spencer Raxter, broadcaster 6.
Shout out to the heavyweights.
Shout out. I think we'd be having these conversations with Cade, top 20, fringe top 15 last year, but because we had to endure, that brutal year last year, we have to wait a year, but we should have been having these conversations the end of last year.
What say ye, Rod Beard? Oh, goodness.
Man, y'all... These... terrorist Monty Williams.
Osama Monty.
Osama Monty.
That's wild. Anyway, look, at the beginning of the year, we were talking about people ranking Cade at number 70 in the top 100. Now we're talking about him being in the top 20, and it's very much warranted. If you do a blind test and just say, here are the stats, here's what he's done, and erase the record, don't say he's with the Pistons, but this is a dude who's doing these numbers, you would say he's a top 10 guy. Yeah. So don't bias it because it's Cade or because it's the Pistons. What he's doing this year has him in the top 20 in the league, undoubtedly.
Hey, I like that, man. Everybody with no hesitations. Let's get that last one.
That ESPN list is trash when you look. Man, what? He done closed the gap, didn't
he? 70. We need 76. What number was he? 76.
Was it 67, I believe?
It was something, Manai. It's seeds in that bag, too.
I remember one name that really stood out to me, and I know to you, Rod, when he was way too close to Brandon Pajinski than he had any business being.
Yeah, like, what the hell?
I remember that song. Goodness gracious.
Take a peek at Brandon Pajimski's numbers this year.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Fire that man. Whoever made that list, fire that man, ESPN. But our final statement. And I don't know. This one might be a little one of them ones. The Pistons will win 20 more games post All-Star break. Swish or brick.
20 more. You're talking 45.
They are sitting at 25 and 25 currently.
You know what?
Can the Pistons win 20 more games post All-Star break? I think they can.
I'm looking at the schedule, Rod. And we knew that the gauntlet was at the beginning of it. If you're looking at their schedule, Rod, they got some.
I'm telling y'all,
there's a lot of home games. There's a lot of home games, and you're talking about a team who's going to get some rest. You're talking about a team who's starting to just now get some chemistry. This All-Star break is going to let those shooters' legs get revived. They're going to let the guys like Stu and Duran get a little bit of a break. And you're talking about a second half where, mind you, Rod Beard, what's the stat we always talk about post All-Star break of Cade's rookie year? With Sadiq Bey and Jeremy Grant, what did they do? 14 wins, right? So that's where I'm just like, you know what? It's a possibility. And as I'm looking at this, how this thing sets up, and you're talking about from this point, 20 more wins from this point.
Yeah,
20 more wins from this point.
Well, yeah, sure.
After
we can go
break.
to. I said post All-Star break, but we can do that.
Yeah,
because it's only 27 games left after the All-Star break.
Yeah, we'll go from this point then. So
yeah,
from this
point.
Yep. Out of 32 games, That would mean that the Pistons are going winning 20 of these last 32, going 20 and
12
down the stretch.
It's possible.
They start the season 0-4, and they are 25-25 right now.
That's why I proposed the question.
I gotta go.
You in a dead heat
I'll
right
start
now.
there.
You 500
Rob
dead
is
heat right now.
deliberating.
5 games before the All-Star break.
Talk your talk, man.
No, I'm just saying,
He
man.
made
I'm
the
just
lines.
saying.
Flannel is deliberating. This was a tough one.
Oh, I like
It's-
this.
KG, this is some of your finest work.
Thank
I'll just
you.
say that.
Thank you.
I am going to go. I'll say swish.
Ooh.
And it's with the thought in mind that they're going to make a move. The only reason that I was thinking about brick was because I'm still a little bit upset over that Hawks loss. The point is that anybody can be beaten on any given night. But I think if they make a move with Cade Cunningham continuing to improve, and I think be helped out by whatever move it is, you see improvement from Jalen Duren. You see improvement from guys like Asar and Ron Holland. I think they're going to go 20-12 to end the year with help from a favorable-ish schedule, and I think 6 in a row to end the season at home. So give me swish.
JB Smooth. That was well stated, Flannel son.
Man, why y'all gotta make me do this?
So this-
20 more games. It ain't that hard, man.
I know it's not that hard, and like Flannel said, anyone can beat anyone any given night. So this is a swish if they make a move at the trade deadline, but a brick if they don't, but they come close. They get like 18.
What up, though, Kavasi HA?
Hey, what up, though? I'm gonna say this is a brick. I think if it was like 15 or 16, I would probably say it's more likely to switch. But this is a 500 basketball team. It's a big jump for them to make, and then that's still with the expectation that they go out and make a move. If they don't, I mean, like, I think we could expect this team to be kind of what they have been all year. Hopefully the young guys continue to develop. But, I mean, bottom line, we still have Tobias Harris on this team, and it's going to be hard to go 20-12 with Tobias Harris.
We still got Tobias on
Tobias has been playing well. I gotta give him his credit. He's been playing well.
What
But
up, though, KG?
did you give a definite answer?
Who?
You.
I always make the statements.
Oh.
And that's the point, because there's gonna be, there's a couple questions I'm gonna bring to it, a couple questions you do, and I always love being caught off by that one. This one, that 20-game one, that was your question. That's a great one,
right.
And that's why I make the statement. That's why I like it, because sometimes I don't necessarily agree with it, but there's still a statement to be had. And with this one, I do believe that the Pistons, if I have to say swish or brick, swish.
Yeah, you definitely have to
believe
say swish or brick.
I believe in what they're going to do. I believe in the notion of the chemistry that we're seeing. They're going to continue to improve. We've seen that they have shown those flashes of being able to be that defensive team, and I think that the second half, getting this All-Star break, is going to present them the opportunity as a more functional team. They're going to be a team that's still largely together on the other end of that All-Star game and on the other end of the trade deadline, and it gives them an opportunity to be a team that's just much more sane than everybody else right now. So I'm going with a swish.
I think it's a swish as well. I think when you look at how the Pistons are playing right now, they are really gelling together, coming together chemistry-wise. And if they do make a move at the deadline and get that backup facilitator, then I think this is a guaranteed swish. But if they go as presently constructed, I do think there's a good chance for them to do this because of how they play defense, the effort they give night in and night out. And then when you just look at the East, a lot of these teams post All-Star break are going to begin to drop off. I'm looking at the Miami Heat, the Bucks. We don't know what the hell to expect from them in the second half.
It's the all dysfunction teams in the
I'm
East.
telling you, there will be some drop-offs in the East, and I think the Pistons will be there to capitalize on a lot of those games. I think it's very, very plausible for them to win 20 more games.
That's why for the last 2 months, man, that's what I've been saying. Go back and roll it. I was like, guys, I'm telling y'all, even there were teams. This was when the Pistons were 8th or 9th or 10th in the East at the time. I was like, look at the dysfunction. They're going to pass some guys. I was hoping they could be better than the Pacers. I still believe that with Jaden Ivey, they would have given themselves a much better chance to be. But this comment from the chat before we go to Rob Beard to close up Swisher Brick, this one here has me cracking up. DNC he said 20-12. This is one of those balls that go around the rim 17 times and it's still going. But Rob, what say you? Shot in, shot out.
I mean, who's the tequila sponsor again? Because I'm gonna need some Swisher.
Some 18. You need Swisher and some 1800. No seeds in this bag.
I'm gonna need that in one hand. It's a whole thing. Look, I got to go brick on this because they are who they are. I can't do it because they got OKC on the back half of this. They got Boston, Milwaukee twice to finish out the year. It's too many games that they could win, but they won't, and so many games that they should win that they won't, that I can't do 20. I can do 16 or 17, and I'd rather be wrong because at the beginning of this season, I said they would be in the high 20s, low 30s for numbers of wins. They're going to shatter that.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be wrong on this and have them do well, but whatever the case, I can't do 20 more.
It's almost like that adjustment you make. You know what they're capable of, but there's always something that happens. There's always the unthinkable. There's always that game that they drop. Even good teams. We see the Pistons win games against good teams, and I'm sure their fan base is like, how did we lose one to the Pistons? So it's like when you do factor that in, I can understand how it can happen. I believe where they give themselves that good start is what they do between right now and All-Star break. If they give themselves a nice streak, you talking about some not just winnable games, but what's the phrase we've been using? Handle your business. This is your handle your business stretch of games right now. The Bulls twice and the Hornets and the dysfunctional Sixers. You got to go out there and punt all of those teams to the moon and compete like hell against the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight at LCA, man. I hope to see you guys down there. It's been nice, man. The arena's it's got a nice little buzz to it for your 500 Pistons who are still in postseason positioning. But Rod Beard, any last words, brother, before we wrap up?
No, trade deadline. Next week we'll be talking about some good news. So let's see what that looks like next week.
Let's rock. JB Bickerstaff did say on the flagship 97.1 that, you know what? He was called into Trajan Langdon's office, and he was being shown all of the different options. So it's interesting, man. I can't wait. And I got, some of my sources, they told me even last week that Trajan and his crew were in the offices all night working on stuff. So the Pistons have been turning over every single stone, and I do believe that they are prepared for every single scenario. I've got that on very, very, very good confidence, and even confirmed yesterday that Trajan has been putting in some work, and his team has been doing everything they can to kind of vet every deal. Like, they have the things they like, but they're not the smartest guys in the room type. They're willing to vet, they're willing to listen, they're willing to see, and that's, to me, has been pretty cool reports to hear about this current front office, which has already gotten off to a good start here.
No, it's crazy times. We might have Giannis on this squad next year. Everybody's available. It doesn't matter.
You know what, Rod Beard, as always, man. Great. It's always great to have you on the show. This is Detroit News Sports Editor-in-Chief, Rod Beard. For a couple segments every single Wednesday. Make sure you guys tap in with the Detroit News. Tap in with their people over there. They got some great people over there. Once again, shout out to Cody Davis, Pistons beat writer of the Detroit News. But any last words from you fellas for Rod Beard?
Nah, thanks, Rod.
Thank you, brother.
No, thanks, Rod.
Hey.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good show.
Hey,
you too.
Thank you, brother. Have a good rest of your day.
All right,
Fuel your Detroit sports fandom with the perfect cup and become a subscriber of Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Whether you're gearing up for a big game or saving a quiet morning, Sabbath Coffee Roasters has you covered with fresh, locally roasted specialty coffee delivered right to your door. Head to www.sabbathcoffeeroasters.com. Choose your favorite roast and make sure that you're using code Woodward to get 25% off your first subscription order. Awaken and wine. Support local and enjoy game day right with Sabbath Coffee Roasters.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Head to WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White & Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
Hey, what up, though, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. And you know what? It's time for everybody's favorite segment. Before that, JB Smooth, man. He's been cooking up, and we got some things planned out. You guys know, credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network, your boy Detroit Kool-Aid, and going to All-Star, but we're also going to Vegas. We're trying to take the entire team to Vegas. And so your super chats, they help us get there, but we're also bringing a few extra things to incentivize you as you guys help us get to Vegas. JB Smooth, you got like 2 minutes, just 1 minute to talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, like Kool-Aid said, we're trying to get the crew down to Vegas for the Summer League. We're also trying to do the morning show live there as well, too, so you guys won't be able to miss out as well. Anything you send in the super chats also helps us out as much. I know we're trying to save together money as well, too. Shout out to the Pistons once again, too. I will be at LCA tonight checking out the Cavs game, so that'll be fun.
Tell them about the shirts on the way for Vegas.
Yeah, we have exclusive shirts that we are going to be trying to put on the shop right now. I sent over a couple designs to Stick, the Kool-Aid as well, too, to see if he liked them. And they're all centered around, you know, the one Mr. Cade Cunningham and our Detroit Pistons as well, too. So look out for those. They're on the way very, very soon. We might even do a subathon as well, too, like the heavyweights did, just to have some fun with the crew, you know, before the morning show or, you know, on a Friday, something like that. But to clean up some super chats that we got going on right now, shout out to Real K77, $9.99 super chat, just showing my support for the fellas.
Shout out.
Thank you.
Shout out, K. Appreciate you, bro.
And thank you so much. I see Manugia Mansion in the chat. It said, give away some tickets to Pistons games.
Oh, that's def.
Hey, did we leave like a hot mic or something on during the break? We were just talking about that. So we're definitely bringing that as well. So I'm telling you, as you all subscribe as members and as you guys help us get to Vegas, there's so much more that we're able to do to bring the giveaways. Trust me, the giveaways right now are starting off with T-shirts.
Yeah.
As these things continue to come in, we're able to give away a little bit more. So there's going to be tiers, and we're going to have those tiers for you all as well, so we can make sure that you guys are benefiting and that we're able to go out there and get the best content possible. I can't wait. I'm telling you guys. Can you imagine a subathon with Flannel Sam, long drink flannel?
Yeah. Oh, boy. And I hate to bust y'all bubble. There will be no hair removal on our subathon. I'm just letting you know. Like, me and Chase got too much to lose here.
I'll do that. I'll shave. I'll shave my head.
Shave what? Right. What the fuck? You ain't got nothing.
He's being funny.
Talk about I'm gonna shave. Shave what, your face?
I'll let one of the Janes straighten my hair, and I'll look goofy as hell.
Come on,
I'll
Chase,
look weird as
I don't know,
hell.
man.
You look like a wrestler, bro.
We got to sell you on the black market if you straighten your hair, bro. You already got people in the chat. Oh, Chase's. Look at his hair. Look at the locks.
Yeah,
it's luscious.
Bro, I was self-conscious about letting the hair down, bro. But.
They love it in the chat. Yeah, you a heartthrob, apparently.
Appreciate it.
Jeez, but no, just wanted to let you guys know a little bit of what's going on. So stay tapped in because we're gonna have a lot of different incentives for you all as we climb towards this WUW Crew to Vegas super chat goal. And you know what, JB Smooth? Let's get things sparked up. Word to jars.
Word to jars.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
JB, how big them breasts is, man?
Really big boulders.
Jatumbo.
Yo, shout out to the chat family once again. What's going on, fellas? I got some news for you guys. This is for all my my fat friends out there who just like desserts and candies and stuff like that.
So you're talking to me? Got
I
it.
mean, I'm talking to everyone. I'm talking to myself as well too. Apparently, Kit Kat has been teasing these. I don't know.
No, I really feel attacked.
Yeah,
right.
I don't know how you guys feel about your Kit Kats, but
I love Kit
would
Kat.
you try pizza flavored Kit Kat?
Oh hell no!
Wait, what?
You lost me. You lost me.
These
You
are
had
some-
me, and you lost me.
Does it
These are
have
some
salad
concept
on it? No.
ideas Kit Kat is throwing around right now. Pizza flavored, pepperoni pizza flavored Kit Kat. What are we thinking?
No.
That feels like straight to jail.
Or
Like, don't
yeah,
pass
like,
go.
What?
It's like my eyes are seeing like Kit Kat pepperoni pizza, but my head is processing combos for some reason.
Yeah.
I have no idea why.
I just want to know who the fuck, like, they sit in the boardroom and come up with these ideas, right? Whose great idea was it to propose, hey, we should make a pepperoni pizza flavored Kit Kat?
Like
Free
Kit Kat's
promotion.
just fine.
Fire that fucking man.
Yeah,
Like, I just don't understand
Well-
why they think this is a good idea.
Well, if that's not enough, how do you guys
Oh, with
feel about watermelon flavored Kit Kats?
Okay, all right. This is borderline racist. I'm good. I'm good, dog. I'm good.
It's a no for the watermelon Kit Kat. So
Kit Kat do better, bro. Kit Kat is a top 5 candy to me. This is some bullshit y'all doing right now. This is some straight bullshit.
At least with watermelon, it's sweet.
I guess.
If that makes sense.
Is it removing the chocolate? Because it looks like it's green.
I think the
So-
outside layer
probably,
is
yeah,
watermelon,
dyed-
and then
dyed
inside
chocolate.
is chocolate.
Well, the inside of a
chocolate
Kit
wafer.
Kat's a wafer. So is
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
like a flavored, like, for the pepperoni pizza and the watermelon, is it just like, instead of chocolate, is it like a different flavor on the outside of it? Because that's not as egregious, but this is some like Guantanamo Bay, like
Y'all not chocolate.
unusual shit.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Kit Kat, I don't know what you're doing out here
KG's
right now,
reaction,
but
dog.
you're
Dog,
messing up, man.
That's the little freaky ass candy that when you go into Family Dollar, nobody has touched. Like, that shelf is always untouched. That's the type of candy that be on that shelf.
I mean,
That's crazy.
That's true as well too. Question: when's the last time you guys went to the movies?
Been a
Time
minute.
3 with the family, actually. Maybe I think like when it first came out, sometime during Christmas break.
Yeah, it's been a couple
But
months.
but before that, it was some time.
Chase, what do you say?
I was gonna say I haven't seen a film in a while, but I was there for the Heavyweights broadcast.
Oh
Hey,
yeah,
for
they
Salvation
were.
Army.
They were at the Imagine.
Yeah,
Well,
awesome theater.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, whoever this menace is needs to be locked up right now, as long with those ugly Kit Kats.
Oh, come on.
My man
All right.
is pouring
All
Minute
right.
Maid into his popcorn and drinking it out the bottle.
You sick fuck. Y'all just doing shit just to do shit at this point.
This is just
Come
terrible.
on, dog. Come on, man.
I want to be a to each their own, guys, so bad.
Sam, these are your people. In my Neil Rule voice, these are your people. Explain this right now.
Explain. What? They like together. I feel like fruit punch would be good to like wash it down with, but together, mixed with the buttery pop.
That's fucking.
How is it
disgusting.
not going through the cardboard like container of popcorn?
Like,
That's a good point.
it's
I
sitting on his
don't
lap.
know.
I'm just like, bro, what?
You
Why?
sick bastard.
And you got a friend that's like recording you. Get better friends, people. They'll tell you to do better things.
That's soggy ass popcorn. Like, I don't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's freaking disgusting, dog.
Just a sicko.
And you know how much money he spent on that? You have to like do it
$20
right.
Yeah, that's a $20 bucket right there. Unbelievable.
I wonder if he
Like,
paid extra for the butter.
I
top of
hope he
that.
didn't. I
The
really
butter
hope he
and then
didn't.
Fruit punch. Oh,
I really hope you didn't. You guys know the phrase "hands of stone," right?
yeah.
Well, this is the true definitions of hands of stone.
AKA Eric Ebron.
Oh, my
shit.
man is punching.
Dog, man, just a regular old Eric Ebron out there. Stone hands. For real.
God damn.
Why? All right, you won exactly what?
Just building callus on his knuckles.
I guess. He trying to make that little $5, man. God damn. Somebody get my man in a boxing gym immediately, though.
Yeah, I don't want to run into him in the streets and have any issues.
Yeah, no. These
No
YNs
fisticuffs
these
with
days.
him.
These YNs, you don't want to be picking no fight with these YNs out here, man. They different.
Yeah. It's a bad move for this one out here. But
He look like he just want to fight.
Nah, but y'all remember the
He looking for a reason to fight.
You remember the era of like the fights and $5 fights and bum fights and all of that, man. I had
Bum
friends,
fights.
dog, in college that were afraid to walk down to the store because they thought that they were gonna get jumped.
Oh yeah,
It
you're talking
was-
about like the knockout games. and
Yeah,
stuff like
you
that?
remember
Bro, they used to sell
pay
the
them like a
tapes.
cheeseburger and like, yo, go and fight. And I'm just like, goodness gracious.
Have you seen like when Dr. Phil invited the dude from Bum Fights on to tell? He's like, "You're just taking advantage of exploiting people of their stories."
Wait.
And then
Dr. Phil interviewed them?
Yeah, the dude,
Of course he did.
Yeah, the dude
Phil.
dressed up like Dr. Phil and was just kind of like pointing out the irony of like what Dr. Phil's show is.
Yeah,
It's
Dr.
like
Phil
you're
is
doing
a
the same fucking thing, man.
Dr. Phil is a fucking joke. We all know that, but yeah, you remember
We'll be
back
right
in the
back.
day, Kool-Aid, they used to sell the fight mixtapes.
Yeah.
You know, we all had
Yeah.
those. The brothers, we
That's
had them, dog. Like, stop playing.
Those
Sell them
and
boys right out the
Amon
gas
and bootleg
station.
movies.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Ponds and Taylor, man.
What a time to be alive.
Dr. Phil, it's good entertainment sometimes. Like if there's nothing else on, if it's like an interesting story, I don't mind it.
I know I'm gonna go and watch the one with the bum fights on there.
Oh my god.
Thank you, ChatGPT. I didn't even know that existed.
The old
Oh, yeah.
Kimbo Slice tape.
If you like to
Slice.
laugh at Dr. Phil, there's a funny comedian named Adam Ray who does like an impression of him, and like he does a lot of like videos and acts and stuff like that. It's pretty
Bro, that's
funny.
hilarious.
Oh yeah, I think he's coming to town too. Actually.
Yeah,
for,
I think he's coming to like the Fox or
yeah.
something like that. So, you know.
Something like that. And finally, I will end what's trending with this because you know it's not a party until someone gets hurt.
Damn right. Oh, come on.
Whoa!
Get better friends again.
Why they throw him against the ceiling and then drop him, though? That's fucked
Bro,
up.
and the way they threw him, you can tell. It's that point of just, I don't care. I just want to see what happens. You can tell, like, sorry. Guess we got a little carried away there, huh?
When crowd surfing goes wrong, once again, you crowd surf, you get what you get, dog.
Thank you. Ban crowd surfing from every area of the world. And I'm a man who enjoys mosh pits and metalcore music. I hate crowd surfing. If another person taps me on the shoulder and says, "Lift me up so I can crowd surf," I will lose my mind.
And but this one is even just a little bit more different because it's like, with crowd surfing, you got to trust that they're going to catch you. This one, they're already in the arms, and they just said, you know what? Nah, F that.
Well, I feel like this is crowd
After
surfing
throwing
in
him
the door.
against the
you all.
ceiling.
This is
After
crowd
throwing
surfing
his
in the
spine
door.
against the ceiling.
It's
Like,
just
come on,
some
man.
frat shit.
Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
wild, dog. That's so wild.
But that's it for what's trending, you guys. So hop in the mailbag while we got some time.
Hey, what friends we got to hear from? Is it just our friends from Feldman, or we got a couple of them?
We got to hear from Caesars and Feldman. So I will tell you
Hey,
about
make some
Caesars
money.
Sportsbook right now. I know we've been missing out on Caesars. I know you've been missing Caesars. But if I told you you could place a bet up to $1,000, and if you lose, they'll throw it right back into your account. Well, that's what Caesars is doing. All you got to do is scan that QR code on screen. Use code word Woodward 1000. Deposit up to $1,000. If it doesn't hit, they'll throw it right back into your account with no questions asked. It's the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. Go out, make some money tonight. You know the Pistons are playing. Come on now.
Hey.
And Feldman.
Feldman. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit FeldmanAuto.com to find the location nearest you. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
Hey, what up, though, people? And we are back. It is now time for the Wake Up Woodward Mailbag segment presented by the Feldman Automotive Group. Get those mailbag questions in. And while they're coming in, let's do this real quick. Let's satisfy that like button real quick if you got the video ready. And then we'll get to some of these mailbag questions as they come into the chat as well.
Yeah, we got a video?
No, we got the.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, I'm like, we
Hey.
got a video satisfied. Hey, don't catch me on tape now. But listen, for everybody out there that want to get a little frisky, man, it's middle of the week. Why not? Go ahead and hit that like button for us. We really appreciate you joining us here today.
Hit that like button. Treat it right, y'all. Treat it nice. And you know what, man? I'm seeing Ty Haywood committed to Michigan.
Yeah.
I know that our group chat was lighting up, absolutely lighting up. And guys, get those mailbag questions in. But just real quick, How you feeling? That's my mailbag question to you, Mr. One of our other Go Blue representatives, residents on this show.
I'm feeling fantastic. That looks like a 5-star offensive tackle protecting 5-star quarterback Bryce Underwood's blind side. You love to see it. I'm hoping that it's like a Jake Long, Chad Henne on steroids.
Yes.
Talk dirty to me. What up, though, KG?
I just want him to get the skill positions next. Like, we got to attack the skill positions, but I'm loving everything that they're doing right now. This is what I envisioned. You give him a full year to really make his stamp on the program, and you seeing the results of that. Hopefully it turns out on the field as good as it is right now, but I'm loving what they're doing right now.
I will say this, KG, though, and I might get laughed at and called like, Mr., happy, slappy, good time flannel Sam. I think Frederick Moore is going to have a good year.
I can see that.
Having like a competent quarterback. I'm not saying he should be your wide receiver 1. I could see Marlon Klein being a solid tight end. The cupboard's not bare, but they need more.
But once again, a competent quarterback and a competent offensive coordinator. I can't stress that enough. Kirk Campbell, talk about terrorists. He was a fucking terrorist.
He was.
I believe our OC now is going to be able to draw up something, and they'll be able to make some things happen, man.
Hey, dope. And I see, get those Feldman mailbag questions in. Just one more from me really, really quickly. What's the outlook? What's the assessment on, Chris Ilitch and Tom Gores as team owners? Because we've already been like, you know what? Sheila Hamp is it. But now you got Chris Ilitch over the Red Wings and the Tigers, Tom Gores over the Pistons, and he's done things completely different this year. He's been that kind of owner who's put the people in the right position, cut the checks, did the things that he had to do to get Monty Williams out, JB Bigstaff in, and largely has kind of been out the way. And I do believe that the next time we see him at OCA, he deserves some applause. But I wanted to ask you guys about Chris Ilitch and Tom Gores as team owners right now.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Gores, he fixed his mistake. He paid like out all the rest of Monty Williams' contract for him to just go away, and they brought in JB Bickerstaff. That alone is worth its weight in gold. And as far as Chris Ilitch goes, I mean, obviously he's a little cheap still, but the Jack Flaherty move, I think that was a step in the right direction. They have the highest payroll in the AL Central, by the way.
The Tigers?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, and they still bottom 20.
Yeah, and nobody in the AL Central spends.
I don't know how much Javi inflates that.
A lot.
A lot. Literally a lot.
Goodness
you got to pay him anyway. But, I mean, like we said, Tom Gores, the fact that he hasn't been perfect, we all know that. He's been a really bad owner for a good portion of this Pistons or his Pistons tenure. But overall, I mean, he's willing to fix his mistakes, and that's something that I wish Chris Ilitch would adopt. It's okay to make a mistake, but go out there, try to fix it. Don't let it linger, man. That's all.
Yeah, man, with Tom Gores, he was dealing with not just fixing mistakes, but also learning to be an NBA owner on the fly.
Right.
And I think sometimes from the outside, you look at the Mark Cuban of it and some of your friends, and maybe that's how he hit the ground running. But now he's looking more like your traditional NBA owner. And you see the Pistons are having some success with it right now.
Yeah, Tom Gores went from being on his Stringer Bell, like, man, they're like, this shit, man, step on that motherfucker, to his Marlowe, where it's just like, my name is my name. He's out there running the block now, he's got the crown, so he's putting the Pistons back on top.
That's what's up, man. And you know what? Here we go. Charles McClain, # Feldman Mailbag. Rumors have Warriors and Celtics to trade for LeBron. So will LeBron be a Laker after tomorrow? Lakers got worse defensively after the Luka trade.
No, that's a fact. But
if I were to take a guess, I'd say LeBron's still a Laker.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a Laker. They at least going to see how LeBron and Luka work together on the floor. LeBron's future, that's a different question. But I can't see the Lakers trading him at this point.
Yeah.
Why did Luka not look so happy yesterday during his
that was terrible.
His press
I don't
conference?
think he is.
Terrible.
He looked like a kid that just got sent to the principal's office.
Do you know how much money? Do you know how much money this man lost?
$117 million at the very least.
Oh yeah,
overnight
taxes.
Out of nowhere. He's not happy to be in LA right now. I wouldn't be either.
Because you know what I heard? One narrative, they said that this could be so much more damaging than just the 117 if it goes in the opposite direction for him. Because now he's at a place where they conjectured mentally where is he at right now. And we do our best work usually when we're feeling our best. And now you got a guy who's effective, the rug was pulled from underneath me. And you heard his dad step out and say, why is all of his business being splashed everywhere now too? That was just a horrible combination. And you heard them ask him yo, did they tell you? And he was like, no. I didn't know anything, and it was just like that's a tough look.
All
man.
I know is when the Lakers play the Mavericks, take the over on Luka's points. That's all I can.
Yeah,
all I
I'm
can offer
hoping
you.
that he uses this as a situation to spring forward to making sure he don't miss out on any more than 117 million.
Yeah.
He's a great basketball talent.
Yes, he is.
Sheesh. Let me see here. IT Hips, Feldman Mailbag. Amon-Ra St. Brown went on his podcast basically calling out to trade for Myles Garrett.
I was just going to bring that up too. I just sent it to socials as well.
Yeah, Amon-Ra is one of us, clearly.
Yeah.
All for it. What up, though, Flannel?
Love it. Absolutely love it. He knows this team better than any of us. He knows what Myles Garrett would bring.
What about you, KG?
Yeah, what was the question? Sorry, I missed it.
Amon-Ra's calling for the signing of Myles Garrett publicly.
Yeah, and listen to St. Brown. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, last time we saw this with Scooble, we got one half of our wish, and Jack Flaherty's here now.
Yeah.
So, $5 super chat at nobody. Kool-Aid, aren't your b-ball videos in the Hall of Fame? Why you can't get them? Bro, they're VHS, that's all. You guys have a tape player? Anybody have a tape player that can convert the scene to digital for us, man? Let's rock.
That bitch might be on Betamax for all we know. We don't know. We talking about VHS. You ain't got the tapes, man. It's all right.
Man, you know what? No, one day we're going to definitely break those
Stop
tapes
lying
out.
to the people. You can get a tape converted very easily in 2025, bro.
We're going to break those out one day for the people. But first, you know what, man? One day I want to be able to get some content where we go out and we see who can defend Kool-Aid. I'm older now, though, man. My wife keeps saying, bro, quit writing those checks that you don't know if you can cash right now. I'm like, you know what? She might be right about that.
You got 2 full court series in you. That's it.
Hey, look, I'm getting Kid Kool-Aid ready, though. He will defend the honor. He's been hooping, man. He enjoyed his time yesterday at St. Cecilia's gym. But
yeah, shout out.
Yeah, anything else that was in the chat that stuck out before we wrap it up?
I think that's a show.
I think that's the show.
Get MG to Detroit, please.
Let's get that chest pass going. Hey, I saw Brad Hendricks the other day. He was like, "Yay, I'm just here for the chest pass at the end of the show."
Hey,
I'm gonna believe that he really, really meant that. But this has been a show. It's been Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you guys for choosing to kick off your day with the WU Crew. Shout out to Matthew Broder. Shout out to that dude Justin. We got Cavassier Chase in the building. What up, though, brother? Good job.
Hey, what up, Joe? Thanks for everybody tapping in. We got Big D Energy tap coming up in about 58 minutes. Ermanni and Edwards. We got heavyweights wrapping up today, so make sure you guys stay tapped in. You got all your best Detroit sports coverage here at Woodward Sports, and you look forward to hanging out with you guys throughout the rest of the day in the chats. Shout out my dad. Shout out the guys at Seymour Ford. Shout out everybody in the chat as well. So I hope you guys are having a good one. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Hey, this Elite Booth. Starting in the sound booth, Detroit's #1 draft pick, that is KG, Rookie of the Year, going for MVP. What up, though, Black Hollywood?
You know it, man. Same old, same shit, different toilet,
Is that
man.
one of my favorite shirts?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It's that one. But no, shout out to everybody joining us today. We really appreciate y'all hanging out with us, man. Let's get Myles Garrett to Detroit, goddammit. And today is also a good day to sign Alex Birdman. And with that, I will see y'all tomorrow.
Yes.
Hey, Woodward Sports MVP, that is JB Smooth in the TD booth. What up, though, brother?
Hey, what's going on? Shout out to Chat Family once again for hanging out with us, for our show. Start the movement right now. Myles Garrett to Detroit. Whatever you got to do, spam his social media, do whatever needs to be done. Get this man to Detroit right now. And if you're headed down to the Pistons game, I will see you all tonight.
Hey, let's rock. Woodward Sports vet, Waco Woodward's vet, all sports knowing Red Wings correspondent. That's Flannel Sam. What up, though, brother?
Hey, and don't you all forget, lest you forget, Michigan basketball is in a Big Ten race right now. MSU just went out west, lost a couple. No disrespect to them, but now it's looking like a little bit more even. So shout out Michigan. Go beat Oregon tonight at home. Make Oregon pay and suffer from having to go on their own time change, a 3-hour time change difference.
Hey, it's your boy Brandon, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. Again, thank you guys for kicking off today with the WU Crew, for getting us over that like goal. If you haven't got an opportunity to, please go ahead and smash that like button before you leave. But most importantly, have a blessed day. It's been Wake Up Woodward. Shout out to the legend T. Foss in the building.